The continent of Strobonor lies heavily to the west of the main continent, which contains the free cities, the undead sea, the eternal empire. Yet, it is large enough that it is rarely in contact with the people that reside on what many consider the mainland. The continent of Strobonor was inhabited by multiple races including dwarves, goblins, orcs, and many others. Goblins had been driven out of the mainland many years ago, deemed unfit to reside amongst the more civilized races. They fled, accidentally in secret, and found the mostly uninhabited country of Dravik. It was there they built massive cave systems, which they currently reside in. It is unknown exactly how many goblin kin exist in Dravik, but a healthy estimate would be in the hundreds of thousands, enough to take over the continent with little resistance, if they ever realized that fact. Many years later, a race of sea elves named the Totho escaped from the mainland as well. This escape was not forced, but the mainland had recently outlawed human slavery. The Totho did not accept that outcome. The humans were, by right, their property. No one was taking them away, so they assembled their massive fleet and left. Unfortunately for the Totho, humans are intelligent, and once they were sequestered on a foreign continent, they rose against the sea elves. The humans, now freed, have a solid hold in the country of Ansal Kostira, but they have spread as far as Baroni to the west and Tanaman to the north. The Totho, once forced into retreat, created their country of Moland Totho, or the True Elves. They expanded their reach shortly after, annexing several countries to the west and east. An issue the Totho did not expect were the native races of Strobonor, namely in the grand country of Eternia. A race long undisturbed lie there, the Gith. The Gith, specifically the Githyanki and Gith Zerai, were historically enslaved by the Mind Flayers, and still are in parts of the Underdark today. However, that does not mean all are, and this country has been harboring these Gith for many generations. They did not take kindly to the Totho invading their lands, and retaliated with destructive force. The Totho, realizing they could not win another war so soon after being forced back by the humans, surrendered. The Gith accepted this surrender as a mutually beneficial deal. If the Totho did not attempt to take their lands, or disrupt their freedom, the Gith would form an alliance. This led to the Armament, an alliance that was forged by the Sea Elves and the Gith. Eternia had built a vast trading network with the other countries by this time, which the Totho used to their advantage. Trading with the Orcs of Trisenland to the east, and the Barbarians of Sheercliff were both profitable, and led to good relations between the countries, though the Barbarians of Sheercliff were not what one would call an ally, simply a weapon of mass destruction to keep sated, lest they come down upon you. This alliance was where the Totho made their second mistake. The countries that lie to the south of Moland Totho include Baroni and South Baroni. Initially, the Totho wished to expand further down the continent, and soon found themselves face to face with a country of beasts. Minotaurs, satyrs, bugbears, even turtles exist within the Baronis, and they were not happy to have their peaceful lives encroached upon. The Totho were beginning to realize at this point that this was not the mainland they had spent their lives knowing, and the forces that resided on this continent had spent many lifetimes growing dangerously powerful. Retreating once again, they now bide their time, taking the island territories slowly. The alliance between the Sea Elves and Gith also strengthened the side of the Gith, allowing them to expand more freely. They traveled to Tanaman, not yet knowing of the human grasp that had begun to take hold. Once the unplanned invasion of Tanaman took place, both sides lost many. The Gith returned and demanded knowledge from the Totho, who explained how they had brought former slaves onto the continent in an effort to escape the laws of their mainland. Realizing the danger that humankind brought into their people, the Gith vowed to help the elves eliminate the plague of humanity from their homeland. At nearly the same time, humans had begun to develop their own trade routes, reaching out into Suduth to the south, Fuemia to the west, and more importantly to South Baroni. At first these places were stunned to see humans, but realized the ingenuity of man could provide them great technological benefit over the years. Suduth is now mostly of human population, gentrified by accident. Ansul Kostira learned of the invasion onto Baroni soil after trading with them, and another alliance was made, this one between beast and man. Thus lie the main points of conflict in this warring land. Molan Totho and Baroni wage war on their border. Ansul Kostira fights Eternia on the northern island of Tanaman, while simultaneously fighting Molan Totho for control of Term, an island to the east of Molan Totho. Interestingly enough, there are several countries who have refused to become involved in this war. They are as follows: Cordova, Menesia, Dravik, and Sheercliff. Cordova is one of the most southern countries, primarily a fishing country. They benefit from selling to both sides of the war and have no interest in picking a winner or loser. Menesia is an uneasy ally of Ansul Kostira, but is not thrilled at how high tariffs are for imports and exports of Kostirian goods. Dravik is run by the goblins, and Sheercliff is home to the barbarian tribes. While the barbarian tribes have no direct enemy despite their near relation to Eternia, making a true enemy of them would be one of the last mistakes either side would make, which is why the tribes are left alone, for fear of accidentally turning them. For now, and for many years now, the war is cold, both sides waiting for one to make an error, to cross a line too far. Escalation grows behind these closed doors. There will only be one winner in the end, and a potential genocide of whoever ends up on the bottom.